G'day folks, Ben from Stow's the Adelaide Caravan Camping and Outdoor Sale. A little bit of noise in the background, a bit of people walking around, but we're trying to show you as best we can how to set up and pack away the Panther Horizon rooftop tents here from 23Zero. We're here on the 23Zero stand. There's two versions of this tent. This is the Panther Horizon 2000 set up on top of the Patrol here. There's also a Panther Horizon 1600, which is a little bit smaller, so it can depend on the footprint required or what sort of size vehicle you're putting it on. If we talk about the footprint of the tent, you can see it's smaller because it folds inside itself, so it doesn't have it's not a full length clamshell rooftop tent. So the 2000 measures 191 in length and 140 in width, whereas the 1600 is 155 in length and 127 in width. Now you'll notice the tent's not symmetrical front to rear, so it's more aerodynamic at this end of the tent. There's a longer section here, it's a bit more aerodynamic, and then it drops off at the back. It's designed to sit with this at the front, and the tent will fold out over the driver's side of the vehicle here so that you can mount an awning on the passenger side. That's how the rooftop tent is designed to be set up. It doesn't come in both configurations. Both the 1600 and the 2000 are the same. Before we dive in, we've got loads more content like this on our channel, so make sure you like and subscribe below. Now let's jump into the product. Now to set the Panther Horizon up, we've got latches we need to undo to start with. Two on this side, same on the other side, and then we come back to the driver's side of the tent to push the canopy up to get the first step done. So a little bit of effort just to get that started as it sucks the air in, and then the hinges take over and it opens all the way by itself. Now this is the strap we need for pack down again, so we can put it down. This can just kind of hang over the side. You can throw it over the top if you like. I'm just going to tuck it over here because it will just sit on top of the tent out of the way. Now I've got an elastic strap that runs around here that pulls all the fabric in. I've got that tightened up here at the moment. We'll pull that down, not loosen it, sorry, pull that down and just tuck it in to the frame. There's a channel around the edge here that it can tuck into to hold it in place. We need to do that on this side and also at the back of the tent. It doesn't really matter where you tuck this elastic strap, as long as it's down and out of the way. There's no specific location for it. Now from here, we need to get the ladder to set this up. So the ladder's tucked underneath this loop here. So if we lift this up, here's our ladder here. And the ladder does have a buckle that we need to undo in order to extend it. So I'll undo this buckle, and then we can extend this ladder out, pull it out to full length, and then we can use it to fold this section of the tent outwards. If you're tall like me, you can reach the ladder, and this wants to be extended out all the way. Once that's extended out, try and make the next movements one kind of smooth motion. It just helps it all come out smoothly. If you find it gets caught, just fold it back, you go one smooth motion again. So I'm gonna undo this, or fold this down, grab a rung, and just keep the motion going, let it fold out. You can see the self-deploying awnings working there, and we're all set up. So I didn't have to set any of these up. The only thing I need to do now is climb up the ladder and extend them out. Before I do that though, I'm going to adjust this ladder. This forms part of the support of this overhanging section of the tent here. So we need to move this up so that it actually supports this. We'll do that from the top rung. So push the buttons underneath the top rung here, fold them up, and then just move this ladder in a little bit so that it takes the weight of this end of the tent. You don't want this holding the weight, you want the ladder holding the weight. Now I need to adjust the hoop here. Before we do that, we want to do these up, because if you can push the hoop too far and it comes right out, because these are just telescopic. So put these in place underneath here. There's a little noggin underneath here. These just loop around to hold the awning or this sort of fly sheet in place. And then forward to that, you've got these flaps here. Now these just cover up where the hinge is, where the gaps are in the fabric. There's Velcro underneath here. Pull that down, fold that over there. That just stops breeze coming in here. Same thing on the other side here. Just do this up on the Velcro there, and these straps of hoops go up on there. We'll now step onto the ladder, and we can extend this front hoop out. Now you don't want to push it too far, because this is telescopic and these can come out from this section here, which is not an issue. You can just put them back in. But just loosen these and push this out far enough so that this is just firm. Doesn't need to be too tight. That's just firm, done up firmly underneath there. Do these clips up, both sides. That's the outside of the tent all set up. Nothing more to do on that, or from the outside anyway. Next steps are to climb inside. We can set up the side awnings and just put a pole up in the roof section that helps the water to run off. Now, if you have packed your bedding inside the tent here, it would have been packed right up at the end here. You've got about 20 centimeters of space to roll everything up at the end here. So that's where your bedding will sit. You can't sit flat in here. Got our poles here for a bit more setup. A few other things I'm going to firstly show you. You can let some light in, undo this and secure this at the top here. There's just toggles here that you can do this up with. Unroll these when you pack it up because it makes it easier to squash all the fabric in. I'll show you the awnings on the side. There's two ways you can set these up. At the moment, these are, so we've got our double doors on the inside. I'm just going to open this completely to expose the awning on the outside here. Now, I'm just going to roll this one up to show you that you don't have to actually set it up. You can just roll it up and secure it at the top here. There's a toggle there so you can secure it like this, and that just allows light, heaps of light and heaps of air to come through as well. So if it's not rainy weather or not particularly sunny, you're not trying to create more shade, you can just set it up like that. That's one way to set up the awnings on the side. Second way is I'll show you on this side here. If I undo these, we've got flexible awning poles, of which there is 4 of. So there's 2 inside this bag here. I've got 2 out here already. These go on the outside here. We've got tabs that they sit in. This end of the pole slots into the frame. This end loops through the eyelet in the awning here, and it just holds it out in place for a bit of rain protection and a bit of extra shade. Last thing, despite lights, we do have an LED light, which we've already had turned on here. That's just plugged into a power bank here. You can set that up if you like. You can use any LED light. You've got power in the corner there, so you can use different USB powered devices if you like. The last thing we want to do, well, we don't have to do it actually. If the weather's fine, you won't need to worry about this. If the weather's really wet or really windy, you can use these poles here. Firstly, this one, which sits across the middle here through this loop and pushes against this. Just in the instant that there is a lot of weather and this is moving around, this pole adds a bit of stability there. And then this one sits 90 degrees here to create a bit of a peak in this front section here, just to minimize the chance of any water pooling on this section. So there's C-clips. This fits over the hoop pole above where you're watching me. This one clips on here, and this just loops through the loop here. So that's the setup of the Panther Horizon. Super easy all by myself. Pack up is just as easy, everything in reverse. First thing we want to do is take this pole out. We can't pack this up with a pole in the roof section here. So remove our little top section, collapse that up, take it out of the loop and unclip it from the end here. All the poles could go at this end of the tent. We've got a storage bag here to put these in if we like, so that they don't go missing. So put that in there. This can go at the end. We need to then take our awnings down. So we've only set one awning up at the moment. I've got my 2 poles here. I'll take this awning down as well. So just take these 2 poles out and they can pack up flat inside the tent as well. There. Now you don't have to put these in the bag. They can just sit flat. The most important thing is when you're packing everything up inside the tent is to make sure that you're putting it at this end of the tent here, forward of roughly where this little pocket is here. So remove your power bank if that's what you need. Put your bedding, roll your bedding up at this end of the tent, pack it all as firm as you can up in the end here, because you need to make sure that this end of the tent can fold up to about here. Make sure the valves are open on your self-inflating mat so the air squeezes out. And for the windows on the side, make sure that you've got these folded down so they sit flat. You don't want them bunched up when you pack it up. And you want to make sure that these are done up. So do up the mesh and then make sure that these are done up about 3/4 of the way. Sit about there. So it allows a bit of air to escape. If this is bunched up down the bottom, it's going to foul as you sort of bunch up and make it harder to fold it up. And the same with these here. This big kind of sausage of fabric here is going to make it hard to fold it up. So undo these, leave them sitting flat, and then we can move to the front of the tent and start to undo or collapse down the poles on the entrance awning. Now I'm going to do all of these, or undo, sorry, all of these things, leave them sitting flat. If the fabric's flat, there's just less bulkiness as you fold it up, just makes it all fit a little bit easier as it folds. Even the small awnings or the small vents in the front awning here, I think I'll even fold these down just so that there's no bunches of fabrics. If it's flat like this, it's going to fold up much easier. Interesting to note that these have actually got a weather flap inside here. So as you do it, make sure that sits outside. So it actually creates a weatherproof flap, even though it's internally adjustable, which is a pretty unique feature. I've not seen that on tents before. So fold that flat, let this all hang down loose here. And before we step down any further, we just need to collapse down the hoop on the front. So you've got these adjustable points here, one on this side, one on this side. This has got to collapse down. So I'll just climb down the ladder a little bit and give these a bit of a tap just to collapse that down. And once you've done this, lock these into place. You don't want this extending open in transit because it can cause issues when you're trying to set it up again. So once you've folded these, make sure both of those latches are locked in place so this can't open up again. Come underneath the tent here. There's just a few more little steps to do before we fold it up to make sure it folds up easily and there's no damage or anything. Undo these elastic loops from the noggin underneath here and undo this flap here, which just gives protection to the vent on the side there. This whole section here is what folds inside, so we don't want anything attached here. It's the same on this side here. Undo this flap here, just let it sit loose, and undo the fly sheet from this noggin here. Now coming around here, we're going to start the fold up process. So we need to make sure we've got our strap, the strap here, which is attached to the aluminium canopy on top in front here. If we leave it up there, it's going to get caught up in the baseboard and then we can't find it when we need it. So if you make sure this is in front of you, you're not going to lose it. We don't collapse the ladder up yet. We're actually going to use the ladder to pack the tent away. So we push this up inside. You can see this door kind of sits over the top. That's okay if it does that. If it's rolled up, it really doesn't matter which way around you have that door because it just sits flat inside. We use the ladder to push this inside the tent there. You can see our straps now available here. We just put that outside the ladder. We can now collapse the ladder up. To do that, we've got the buttons in underneath the second rung here. Don't put your fingers up here because you can jam it. Just push it from here. It will collapse up by itself. Just keep pushing that in. And it goes right up inside. Now this is where you need to step up on side of the vehicle. Now I've jumped ahead a little bit here and prepared something ahead of time because it's a little bit awkward to do this up, mainly because of the height of the vehicle, but this strap here needs to be done up around the ladder to stop it from moving around. So I'll do that up now. Easy to undo because it sits here. Tighten that up so it sits nice and firm. That stops this ladder from moving around. Now secondly, this pole here, this is the one that we did the little the latches up on. Ideally, you want this to actually sit outside of the ladder here. So to make that happen, you might need to undo the latches on the side again. Just move it forward a little bit so it sits down and outside the ladder there. Get that length right and then do these straps, do these clips up again and have it sit like this outside. That way the top doesn't hit it. Now from here we grab the elastic strap that sits around here. We want to put this around the fabric just to pull all the fabric in. Got to do this on both sides at the front here to pull this in, opposite side there, and also at the back to pull the fabric in there as well. Now if you want to really tighten this to make sure the fabric pulls in, you've got an adjustable buckle here that you can tighten just to get all that fabric to pull. It doesn't need to be really tight, just enough to make sure that that's pulled inside the outside of the tent or inside the outside of the canopy. Now from here we can step off the vehicle because you've got this strap here for pack up and set down. Really long, so even though the vehicle's tall like this, I've got heaps of strap to use here. And we just pull this down and it's not hard work to pull that down, and by now it's actually wanting to take over by itself. Before you pull it too tightly, you just want to go in and make sure that the fabric's tucked in around the sides and bundle this strap up and just tuck that inside as well. We'll get a close up shortly to show you how well the gasket around the edge of this tent seals to keep moisture and dust outside of your tent. Okay, I've got all the fabric tucked inside this gasket here. Now this is going to seal nice and firmly down against the base here, so gentle pull like that. You can see that sits firmly there now. Do up the buckles, one here, or the latches, sorry. One here, two on the other side. We're packed up, ready to go. On this side, you might need to pull down a little bit just to close this gap. You pull it down until it seals. Get those latches in place. A little bit awkward because the awning's mounted so close on this tent here. Do that up, one on the other end, and we're all packed up, ready to go. That's 23Zero's Panther Horizon 2000 all packed up. Really sleek looking unit on top, nice and aerodynamic. You've got space on top for your solar panels or your recovery racks if you like. Really weatherproof seal around the side here, so your tent's going to stay super dry, and dust-free no matter where you're driving. That's 23Zero's Panther Horizon 2000. Check him out online at snowies.com.au.